was a very bold statement there, bud.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know you don't. You never do. You never do.
No. The joy of the key to the joy of my life is just being unaware.
Hey, not to start off in a dark place, but what you think about all this Candace Owens fucking diving in on Erika Kirk right now? Like the last week has been fun.
I don't think it's dark. I think it's been a long time coming. There's something wrong with Erika Kirk. Like, I think when she was on her fucking like tight leather pants on stage, running her hands through JD
and those
Vance's
eyes.
hair.
And the eyes. Remember, she came out right after that, and her eyes.
She's fucking MK Ultra. Like, you know what I mean? Can't blame her on that shit. She's brainwashed. But like when she was in her like her booty pants and running her nails through fucking JD's hair, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and that was what, 2 weeks after Charlie's death? Like,
shit, yeah.
That was like right after.
Yeah.
And who's got her kids?
Well,
she's off doing all this stuff. Who's?
Yeah. What I think's fucking gangster is Candace Owens releasing those tapes that obviously people at TPSA had screen recorded, like her meetings with them and voice recordings days after Charlie, and she's like laughing and we're gonna get through this. And like, if I lost my wife, granted, men and women are different. Men lose a wife, we don't move on that fast. Women are built to move on. Like, that's a survival trait, right? Like, fuck, I gotta survive in the wild. I need someone else to fucking hunt and gather.
I think they still break first, though.
Yeah. But nobody's so quick that it's a fucking week.
You know, I remember right after because they showed her like right afterwards, and I just thought, I mean, she was so fixed up, and if I were to lose Mike, like nobody could look at me for a week, because when I cry that much, my face swells up and everything shuts together, and like she looked beautiful. She didn't look like she had been through anything, you know?
Yeah, she's a professional model. She looked put together.
Man, no amount of makeup could cover up what would do to my face. I just can't imagine how somebody's not grieving to any extent that it alters what they look like.
Or just, and I get it, everyone grieves differently, right? So I can't compare. We can't compare one to another.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, you live enough adult life, you know, people who've lost people, who've lost others. I don't know anybody. No one that I know of has been like 2 weeks later, oh, fucking going out.
No.
What? It's usually like 6 months later, and they're like, man, I went out and, you know, we were dancing with some girls. I feel like such a piece of shit. Like, you know, and you're just like, all right, hey, listen, I get it. You obviously need more time, but it's that's always been an oddity. You know, the thing she's bringing up about her best friend, whose daughter's her personal assistant. The mom told her, don't go to fucking, don't go to that college.
Yeah.
What? Why didn't she go to that college? The thing that I think slept on is a former Delta Force operator, dude. He's got like it's any podcast is bigger than ours if someone's listening to
it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
But
unfortunately,
his is pretty small as podcast standards go. And he had given a great breakdown. I can't remember the guy's name. I wish I could give him credit for this. If you're the two people who listen to us and happen to have listened to that, please put it in the comments and or rate, share, subscribe. No one will do that because I'm not talking to anyone.
Yeah, nobody's there.
No one is there. That's fine. Whatever. Yeah. He did a great breakdown, and he's like, I think this was a drone assassination, because we know that there were drones. There's people with videos of drones in the sky floating around. And he's like, can't say what I know and what I don't know, but with the technology we have, it was a drone. He said it's, you know, 30 caliber round, sure. Low velocity, so it didn't break through. The biggest bullshit thing they can't sell is that a 30-06 round at 140 yards didn't bust through this guy's neck and body. There's no one that can sell that. No one in the world that can sell that. It's just not. And they were like getting these, I'm a hunter. Define hunter. When you went hunting when you were 11 one time for a squirrel with a BB gun, sit down, man.
Because part of what you're saying, there was in their footage that like nothing came out the backside of him. There was no exit wound. There's no,
and if a 30-06 had hit him that way in the throat,
Oh, it would have been a mess.
Well, the entry looks correct. Like it's not going to be that big on entry, but the other side is going to blow out. And the shockwave from the kinetic energy, like it's moving, man. It's a heavy round. That fucking rifle, that guy allegedly, the guy who allegedly did it, who allegedly used that rifle.
I mean, the kid who was at like Wendy's a couple hours later or something.
Yeah, like staring at the screen, like what happened?
What?
This is what I think happened. I think this was paid for asset that the United States government gave clearance on to take out in exchange for who knows what. I think that this was paid by French nationals or French operatives or hired through French operatives. And it was Israeli instigated. And this is why I think that. I think because the Israelis they do their own stuff, but that's personal. They like to hire the French. And the French are known to be psychos. They're murderers. That's why they keep the French Foreign Legion around. I mean, they're fucking killers. They're genuinely killers. That's why they give those guys new passports and names. They don't care what crime you've committed in what other country. You come here, you pass the thing, we'll keep you. I think the United States, or aspects of the United States government and military, absolutely knew about it. Because there's the government that we think exists, and then there's the actual government. And somebody paid favors and paid a lot of money to get rid of Charlie.
Right.
And that was a move on their part. Right? I think getting rid of him would have sent a message to keep everybody else in line who's like getting anti-Israel, getting anti-Zionist.
But wasn't there something that came out too about Charlie was also kind of changing his mind about the way things were being done right before?
Yeah.
Was this all brought on by Charlie himself in a way, standing up for himself? Or
yeah, like he's not going to be bought by Benjamin Netanyahu. Not only that, he was also talking about something that's kind of slept on. And I don't think Candace Owens will talk about it because that's not her fixation. And I'm glad she's out there slugging it out. I think a lot of times she's a wealthy lady who's kind of broken from the reality of most people, but I love that she's, fucking prairie dog in this. She's on it.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. We need somebody who can do that. But he was talking about like the financial system and the way things are worked out, and not only in America, but the world. But if you start with America, it breaks the world. Because like the great conspiracy of the world is, there's a secret government organization and people that rule the world. There are. Yeah, it's the banking industry. It's the people who control and print money.
Which is not our government.
Which is not our government. The United States government does not print our money. The Federal Reserve prints our money, which is a privately owned bank with shareholders who you're not allowed to know who they are.
Well, doesn't it just all come back down to the Rothschilds again? And
well, so there's 12 of those families. That's just one of them. That's the one that gets a lot of them, gets a lot of heat. But there's 11 other families other than them that are just, they sit on everything. They own fucking everything, and they always have. They always have. It's these same people. And the crazy thing is, like, every conspiracy theorist out there, myself included, we've shouted from the fucking rooftops that, they're eating the babies and there's child sacrifice and these guys are Satan worshipers who eat people and drink blood. And everyone's like, y'all are crazy. And then the Epstein files, and everyone has to sit down and be like, you're really Satan worshipers who drink blood and eat children. Like, what's going on? Did you ever see the Mexican model when she was in a Mexico dinner with some of the like elites of the world? She runs out of the restaurant. She's like, they're eating people. They're eating people. She's freaking out, screaming. She's like, they're drinking blood and they're eating people. They are eating humans. She's like, I didn't know. I didn't know what this was. I didn't know. And she's just breaking. Security snatches her up and drags her off. And we're like, oh, she had a mental breakdown. Yeah, she's
never seen
dead
again.
Now. Nope, gone.
Yeah, they ate her.
Yeah, they fucking eat people. It's
all right. So let me ask you this: if this is where we're at now, and all this information that's coming out, especially from all the files, because like you said, people have been saying a lot of this stuff forever. People just weren't believing them. What is it if they've only released half? What is the half? What the fuck is the half that they can't? If they're going to go ahead and give us all this that proves all these, the baby eating and the devil worshiping and the sacrificing, and what is so bad that? What's worse than that? What's worse than that they can't reveal?
Oh, I think a lot of things.
Like what though? Like what? Like is this what those movies that we grew up with as kids, like Alien Invaders of what is it? Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something like that. Like is there another force on our planet slowly
Yeah.
taking us over one by one. You know what I
No.
mean? We're just not actually in cocoons. They're just doing it in a different way. Like, what is happening? What is
You want?
worse?
I mean, nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. So
I know
I'll
nobody's
give you my.
listening. It's literally you and me.
Nobody's fucking
I
listening.
know.
So this is my unfiltered opinion.
Mom's gonna listen.
Hey, mom. Hey, my
hey,
wife.
Mom. Love
babe.
you. Hey, Candace.
She listens. This is my you want to hear my unhinged? I'm writing a book about it. It's in my new book. My new book is really kind of what I think is going on.
Okay.
And I'm coming up on 66,000 words on it. So it's been slow going. I've obviously, if you can listen to me talk, the two people that are listening, I have a head cold. So it's, and just life has slowed me down. And I've had all these other things going on, like politically in my life, which is a weird thing to say. But my wife had said, do you ever think it's just a distraction from writing your book? I was like, you might be right. You might be right. Maybe all of it's a distraction. Yeah. Anyway, I think everything Old Testament is pretty much point on. And I think no one likes to talk about it. We want to give it a new agey spin. We want to call it aliens. We want to rationalize it to ourselves. We want to rationalize shit that cannot be rationalized. And when you look at the story for what it is, that man was created, this world was created, and we were put here. And we were loved. And then we separated ourselves from that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's look at the separation. So that would be, Lucifer was either the snake or sent the snake in, depending on who you want to read, right?
Right.
He didn't go after Adam. He went after Eve. Eve convinced Adam to do what God told him not to do. And then Adam hid himself from God. And God walking through the gardens, Adam, where are you? He's like, I'm ashamed. He's like, why are you ashamed? Because I'm naked. How do you know you're naked? He already knew. He knew what dude had done. That's why he showed up. He's looking for you to be honest. And so you're cast out of perfection. The thistles and everything come forward. But if you continue to look at that, right, while he was cast out, Adam still lived for like 800 or 900 years. His kids lived for hundreds of years. Like before, not like they lived a long time and they're healthy. And if you look at some of the bone records, like we look at Neanderthal, your brow continues to grow certain things. The oxygen content of the earth we know was a lot higher at some point.
Right.
So if you increase that, you increase our metabolic rate, you can increase healing factor, you would increase our lifespans dramatically.
And our size, right? That's where all the big
things. Yeah, we would be much bigger, much stronger. Our bones would be able to handle more muscle, and just there's a lot of things. So you have all that, right? The craziest thing is during that time before flood, which we know there's a flood. There's evidence all over the world of a flood. There's the fucking something happened. People are like, well, it was a comet, or this melted, or the Bible says the water burst forth from the heavens and from the earth. Do you know there's more water inside the earth than there is in all the oceans and ice on top of the earth?
You actually just told me that last week.
Yeah. Google away. It's there.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah. I do know that we were made up more of water than anything else.
70%. We're 70%.
And most of it's unexplored, which is fucking cool and crazy and scary to me all at the same time.
Yeah, but you can also think like pre-flood, there was probably tremendously, because if you look at the shelves, right, the shelves that come off the continents, they're like 100 feet, deep, and then there's land, and then it really drops off into an ocean.
Really, yeah.
So if you were just to lower the water level a little, you have a lot more civilization. Like I think a lot of our forgotten history is there, and that's what the flood covered. That's what we're going to leave this behind. Give them another chance to keep moving forward. Okay, so during that time before flood, what else happened? Angels fell from heaven. Not Lucifer and his band that were kicked out before, right? God created, so the other thing is, this is what I believe, God created man, and what I mean man and woman, in the image of himself. There's something unique. So he'd already created the angels, he created the heavens, and then he made man. And we're to be like him. Whatever that means, we're like him. And the angels were to bow down. Lucifer refused because he was one of the first created. Right? He's a perfect being. Why am I going to go before this little thing? It's like, because he's made mine. Couldn't handle that. Took a third of the angels. They all went out. So there's evil. Evil exists somewhere else out. Okay. And then there's another instance that happens. Is you'll also read, and I think people get this confused a lot, that the Watchers saw the daughters of man. You read this in, Enoch and other places. Talk the Watchers saw the daughters of men, and found them beautiful and laid with them and created giants. Giants came forth. Right? That's where we get the Nephilim. That's where all that comes from. Now, understand, those 200 or so watchers who came and fell down, who slept with women and created
and
children.
who were the watchers? What's their
angelic
origin?
They're angelic beings as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like when Lucifer and all that fell. All right, that's one thing. And then the watchers, lust got the watchers. Lust for women. You know, the Bible tells us you should, flee from lust. It's so much so it bring angels down. Like, it brought David, brought all the kings of old. A big bootylicious thing shaking there, guys.
And it's powerful.
It's powerful.
It's powerful, yeah.
It's way more. And what do you do? It's like, well, I'm going to fight it. And I'm like, no, fucker, run. Get out of there. Get out of there. You got the blonde or brunette coming on to you at the bar, and you have half of everything you have, and you have your fucking life, and she's there to tear it apart because she doesn't give a shit. Run.
Yeah.
Run. Because it's going to cost you everything. Yeah, so then you have the Watchers. The Watchers are where we get the Nephilim bloodlines. They bred with people. That's where I think the Rh negative bloodline comes from. I think it's a holdover of the abominations that were never supposed to be. They were never supposed to be here.
Which, for the record, we are both Rh negative.
We are both, as are my children. Yeah. Like we weren't supposed to be here. And it's, Rh negative on average, they're more intelligent. It's like if you have, green eyes or you got your green hazel, whatever. Green is hazel. It's just, it's an amalgamation of colors. You're probably 20 points smarter IQ wise than the rest of the people you're fucking around.
Oh, like, then let's be clear. We are both hazel eyes.
Yeah. So that's why we believe it. No.
Check.
Yeah. So again, this is just me. You know what? If I could take it, leave it. I know people don't want it. So you have that.
Yeah.
So we deal with, and something is important in the book of Enoch. The fallen, because God locked them out. Whatever that means, he locked them out. He locked them out of heaven, threw them down, wrapped them in earth. Whatever that means, that's what he did. I believe God and all that exists outside of time. That's why it's difficult for us to understand that, because we think in a linear concept of time. They're outside of time. It's beyond what we can understand. So he locked them here, and they asked Enoch, because God really liked Enoch. For whatever reason, God really liked Enoch. And he called Enoch up. And when you read that the angels came and grabbed Enoch and they took him through fucking portals. He described what the portals look like, what these different realms and realities look like as he transversed physically through these different planes of existence. 1, 2, multiple, until he ended up before God and bowed. And he's like, God, they have asked me to ask you if you would forgive, and he tells them, he's like, it's not your job to intercede on their behalf. It's their job to intercede on your behalf. And that was kind of the end of it. And then the angels show him all these other things that God had lined up for him. So he's moving outside of the universe and time, and outside of this, beyond any kind of reality I think we can grasp. I think if you've done enough mushrooms, you might be able to kind of understand it. like time isn't real, and moving through portals of colors of light. You're just like, oh shit. Yeah.
It does sound like a trip. Yeah.
It sounds like a trip. But if you've ever had a powerful trip, you realize that, like, oh, it was just in your head. No, it wasn't.
No, it comes from somewhere.
Yeah, man, we don't even understand what consciousness is. It's
kind of the craziest thing about, like, this, not off the record, but when you're tripping you don't feel alone, and that's kind of a strange thing.
Yeah,
I think.
So we have that. We know that there were giants. We know that. We know God sent the flood. This is just what I believe. I'm going, and the Bible tells us, it didn't get all the giants. There were giants before and after. So some of that bloodline got through. And it continued to make mighty men of old. One of the most famous ones would be Nimrod, who built the Tower of Babel. He built the Tower of Babel to reach heaven because he wanted to be God, right? What did that really mean? You think he's actually building a giant ziggurat to fucking stand up? No. I think he was using some form of technology. I think when the Watchers fell, they brought with them technology. And they even say that they taught man metallurgy. They taught man things. They taught us how to do. They taught technology because they had a greater understanding of how everything worked. I think all these megalithic structures around the world were built by them and their sons and those that they taught. And when God wiped things out with a flood, it was to get rid of as many of them as possible, but they didn't get all of them. right? And if they had technology, then they were able to move out of the way and survive. At least enough of them, and whatever that means. So that you have that, and I think that continues through today. I think these old ruling bloodlines trace their lineage back to that. They believe they're the descendants. Only 15% of the global population carries that marker. I think that's why inbreeding is such a big deal to them, because one of the mythos around Rh negative blood types is that they're more psychically inclined. They have a greater connection to the divine. They have a greater connection. They can hear or see, or they have premonition, and if you have a little bit of DNA in you that was never supposed to be there, that is from somewhere else, that's from the divine, it's from the other side. Yeah, it makes sense that you have a different set of hardware, you know what I mean, than everybody else.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I listen to my intuition and it's never wrong. People are like, oh, that's crazy. We have different hardware.
Yeah.
Right? Like some people have a really good cell phone and can get reception anywhere, and some people don't. It just is what it is. I think with that, though, comes the ability to, like, you have to make a choice of who you're going to serve, and it will affect you. I think these bloodlines have been for a very long time intermarrying and mingling, and you have a lot of incestuous shit on all those Rothschilds and things like that. They do that to try and keep that gene. They want to increase more of that. They want you to have more of it. You know, like if the mother's negative and the father's negative, and then granted, I'm not saying they knew what negative was. They just knew special people. That's all they were doing. And when you find out, like, Rh negative women have difficulty carrying Rh positive children, they have to have Rotagan shots now. And before then, you just had miscarriages. You just started killing kids. That's why when you're reading like royal families, the women just kept having miscarriages. Why? Because they were having positive babies.
Yeah.
And their body physically rejected it. It's not going to have that. That nothing in nature does that. No other animals like that. We're the one.
I know. Which is crazy for me as an Rh negative woman. I've had 4 births and all of my babies are positive.
Yeah.
I had to have the shot, you know, and they do it early on and then they do it again later on in the pregnancy, but after birth.
And without them, your babies wouldn't be there. But see, because of you, they now carry it as a recessive gene. Like my wife carries it as a recessive gene. She's a positive. She's not a negative, so she carries it. But a couple of my negatives, all the others carried as a recessive gene. So that genetic material is in there. Yeah. The expressed version is 15% of the population. It's probably more like 30%. But so you want the expressed version, right? That's I think what they want. I think that's what they've been working towards. And as they understand it better and better, that's what they keep going for.
Okay. So how does all this fall into back in the beginning when I asked you what is happening? What is worse than eating? And you're saying your explanation started with go back to the Bible. So is that you're saying that what's worse is that these are demons among us?
What's worse is that they're siding against things. So like, I don't think there's one faction. Let me make that clear. I say that because I don't think there's one faction. You have Lucifer and his minions who are against us. And then you have, I think, some in the middle that formed, like the Fallen, that formed multiple factions. Some of those factions, I'd imagine if you were an angel that got stuck here on earth, some of them, like when they talked to Enoch, would you go and tell God that we repent? You know what I mean? Like this, we want out. We're sorry. And his response is, he doesn't want me praying for you. You're supposed to be praying for us. You know what I mean? Like you dug this hole, figure it out. So we don't know what happened to those 200. I'm sure some of them took Lucifer's side, say, hey man, you know, we're trapped here physically. We have our bloodline. Let's work together. I think some of them just faded into nothing. Some of them accepted their fate and responsibility and went out like they were supposed to go. Like, you know what I mean? Just quietly into the night. I think a few of them did not. And in Enoch, you got Samael and you have some of these others that are talking about it. And they're specifically named. I bet those are the ones who went and ended up siding with Lucifer after he fell. And I think they're waging a war against mankind and God here. Because here's the thing. We're the battlefield. They don't want to kill us all. If they were going to do that, they would do that. They don't want that. They want you to be corrupt at your core. They want you to see children sexualized and agree with it. They want, because one of the things Christ tells us in the Bible, it's better for you to have a millstone cast about your neck and be cast into the sea than to lead one of these, he's talking about children, little ones astray. Not hurt them, If you were to lead them astray, it's better for you to be drowned in the fucking ocean with a rock around your neck. You're better off. What does that mean if you hurt children? What does that mean if you condone the hurting of children? It's the hurting of innocence. That's what children are, right? They're innocent.
Mm-hmm.
All these things that the elite do that involve around children and youth, and they're sharing torture videos and snuff films. And we know that because the FBI is like, well, we don't release child pornography or snuff films, and those videos aren't. So you're saying you know that you have them and you haven't done shit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's where it gets worse. It gets worse. What I mean is, like, death is one thing, torture is one thing, cannibalism's. I mean, granted, those are all horrible and evil things. But the worst thing you can do is take a child, break them, and warp them and manipulate them. And now that they hurt other people too.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're a cult. They're a real cult. A real cult of pedophiles and Satanists exist that want to turn children and turn our... It's a war for our soul. It's a war for the soul of humanity. I mean, look at artists, right? The artists that we call artists that all sign contracts. I mean, I firmly believe talent isn't rare. It's common. I mean, anyone listening, all four of you, think how many people do you know that can really sing?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It makes me wonder so many times over the years, why are they popular when my friend down the street can freaking out-sing them in a heartbeat? Like, yeah.
Why is Kelly Clarkson never taken off more than she has? She answered that herself.
Kelly Clarkson has taken. I mean, what?
No,
more
I mean, like,
she is.
Yeah, but she's not. How many records? You know what I mean? Like, people love her, but you don't see her. She's not pushed out like these others. And so my point to that is, they gave her a TV show because she is talented. People know who she is, and they asked for her because she fucking. Like, I love when you see other singers like, well, you got to go do a duet with Kelly Clarkson. I'm like, hell no, she's going to out-sing me all day long. You know, I'm not doing this. She's going to sing the brakes off me.
She sings their songs better than them. Yeah.
Hell yeah. She just has that kind of power to it. And I think it's telling when, I forget the actor's name. He's a short little black comedian guy, hangs out with Dwayne The Rock all the time.
Kevin
Hart.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, you know, her and Kevin Hart are talking when she just got her TV show and Kevin Hart's on there and they're going back and forth. And he kind of made it funny, but like reading it, I didn't think it was. And she's
I know
like,
what you're talking about.
She's like, you know, I've been offered crazy amounts of money to do things. And he goes, no. She's like, oh, you took the money. You know, like, and he's like, well, let's talk about something else. You know, and it's like, oh, it's a funny moment. And the clap, applause. I don't think it was a funny moment.
But wouldn't that moment shine her in a light of not participating in that world?
I don't think she does. Her fame's pretty mediocre. Her fame's pretty mediocre. I think that the Gateway program that they ran, that everyone talks about being a Gateway kid, yada yada. If you were a Gateway kid, you were in the test group. You weren't who they were looking for. You were who they thought they could modify. They knew what they were looking for. When they found those kids, they put those kids in a different program. And what they really were looking for are expressions of a certain genetic makeup. You know, like, not every Rh negative person has green or hazel eyes or whatever. It's not true. Not all of them do. But every person you run into that has green or hazel eyes probably is Rh negative. You know what I mean? Like, not all readers are leaders, but all leaders are readers. You know, it's just because you read a book doesn't mean you run an army. But if you run an army, you read books. It's one of those things. Anyway, so back to it. I think there's multiple factions. I think there's multiple factions that are constantly at war, mostly with each other in ways to denigrate and break us. And that's kind of the test of life. It's the test of life. Like, we find this out. Our test is, what do we do about it? Not just as a people, but every individual. What do you do about it? You find out your favorite celebrity. Like, here's the thing. Spirit cooking with Marina Abramovich, right? Spirit cooking. It's mock effigies and cannibalism. That's what it is. They mock up these effigies of people, and it's a mock cannibalism ritual where they eat the syrup mixed with God knows what, and cakes made of people, and they all sit wearing the same thing, applauding, and they all bow to her, kiss her hands. They're like, Will Ferrell, what the fuck are you doing? Oh, I was just invited to the party. Why are you on both knees? Oh, it's just a gag. Gwen Stefani, you're supposed to be Catholic. What the hell are you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
who's actually their master, and whether they know that or not. I think it's one of those things of every celebrity has their eye covered. They're in the loop. They're whatever. I don't think so. I think the art director is. I think they make sure they get people that are weak enough and dumb enough to do whatever you want. I've never seen that many smart celebrities.
Because the ones that fight back
don't make it.
They get or they get
they die in a bathtub,
like Mel Gibson.
Yeah,
they get shined in a horrible light. He's an alcoholic. He's raging. He's a lunatic. He's psychotic. He's
anti-Semite.
And really, he just didn't agree with them.
Yeah, he just didn't. He didn't like you.
He's very outspoken.
Yeah, and the thing I like about him is he says, he's like, I am an alcoholic. I struggle with that. I'm a venal person. He's like, I struggle with anger. He's like, I ask every day that, God not let me delude myself. That's a powerful prayer. Not to delude yourself. Not to let you work this fantasy in your own, to see things as they are.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah, I mean, for what he is, he's just a guy. He doesn't try to pretend to be anything else. But yeah, he's the interesting things when he talks about the weird things that go on in Hollywood, right? He's done early interviews about that. He's like, when I came here, he's like, I didn't think it was what everyone said it was. He's like, it is. It's everything everyone said it was. He's like, I don't even know how to navigate these waters. Yeah. Yeah. And that makes more sense to me that it's evil because it just tries to control the culture. And so why did you kill Charlie Kirk? Because Charlie Kirk's influence in the culture. And he's about to get into the finances. Finances control culture. If people understood how money really works, they would be burning banks in the streets. I
saw a TikTok yesterday where this guy was, and I haven't done any research, so I'm just going to ask you because you might already know about this. But he was basically saying that the U.S. government ships off, millions of dollars monthly to Israel.
It's $347 million a week.
For what? A week?
We always have.
For what?
So have you heard?
What do we owe Israel? I don't get it.
We don't owe them anything. We don't owe them anything. We didn't do.
What the fuck are we paying them for?
That's a great question. We also fund their military. All the people that live in the Gaza Strip, all those people that move there, they're the Jews that move into. I just said Jew. We're fucked now. All the Jews that move into the Palestinian homes and stuff and would take them over. They don't work. They get free healthcare and they get free money to do that, and it's paid for by the United States government. We also pay for their armory, their military, their defense. All of that.
So is that where the leftovers from the 20 went? And they're just living life, and we are fucking just funding everything and catering to them and feeding them and giving them a life of luxury. What is happening?
In the New Testament, Christ calls them out as a den of thieves and vipers, and in stoning of Stephen after Christ died, Stephen stoned by the Pharisees. Stephen calls them out for what they are. He calls them the synagogue, or he says they're the children, servants of Remphan and Moloch. The star of David that they all wear, that's not Jewish. It has nothing to do. It's the star of Remphan, one of the gods they would sacrifice children to. And that's Moloch as well. It's god of child. So they operate under multiple names, and they would go under both. And
I feel Christ that whole star of David has been represented as many things over the years. Everybody comes out and it means this. It actually means this. It actually means this.
But if you look at ancient temples where they used to throw children, where old Babylon existed, that's what's carved in above the altars in flames. That's what it's always been.
That's crazy.
It's you look at it, it's doesn't this why'd you put that on your flag? That's for people who we believe you're adopting the shit that has nothing to do with you. But anyway. Then the Revelations, they're referred to as the synagogue of Satan. Christ talks about them being, those who call themselves Jews but are not Jews. That's where you get into Ashkenazi Jews, which are really out of Europe. That's Benjamin Netanyahu. He's Polish. He's Polish. You're anti-Semitic. Semitic are Middle Eastern peoples who speak some dialect of Arabic, Hebrew, whatever. That's not any of those people that are there. That's why DNA tests there are banned, because you'll find out they're all from Eastern Europe blocks. They're all Bolsheviks, communists, that kind of shit. That's another thing. You read all the time about what happened in the Holocaust. You don't read about the Bolsheviks when they took over communism and they killed 20 million plus Christians and burned the churches, burned their children alive. fucking skinned the priests, raped the women to death. You don't hear about that.
Mm-mm.
By the way, the Bolsheviks were Jewish. It was a communist. The modern psychiatry, right? That goes from Freud. Freud came up with a whole concept to cover up for his buddy who was raping kids. That's why there's this whole childhood fixation with mothers and fathers and penises. And dude, he was just coked out.
Complex.
He was coked out of his fucking head trying to cover up for his buddy. They went to synagogue together, and his buddy was out there molesting his kid and molesting other kids, and there was a whole cult of it going on. When you hear about Adolf Hitler burning books and the Nazis were burning books, they were burning child pornography. They were burning the medical records where they were doing experiments trying to transition children. That's not a joke. Like, that's where the whole thing comes from. They had child brothels. They ran child brothels. That's how the party came about.
Golly.
So everyone's like, this and that, whatever obviously they did fucking horrible things. Every government does horrible things. I'm not justifying a culture. I'm just saying the real history of the world is not what we think it is.
No, absolutely not.
And
this whole thing with all these kids everywhere, like, it's every time I get on social media right now, it's everywhere. And I don't get it. It's so hard for me to understand and comprehend anybody, all these rising stars, like we were talking about, artists and stuff, are coming up. And then it's like, they get to this point in life and this is what they're introduced to. And to make that choice, I just don't, I cannot fathom it as a mother of four, they're kids.
So there's a banker from the Netherlands. He did like commodities trading and currencies and a few other things. His name's like Ronaldo or something like that. I could find the interview and I could share it to you. It won't make you sleep any better. But anyway, he's doing it, and he's like this Dutch banker, and you can tell how pensive he is about this. And they're like, and he has a crazy story to tell. And they're like, all right, tell your story. And he's like, well, I started in, commodities and currencies and this and that. And I was making money. I kind of figured out how to play the system. I saw what the game was, and I got into the game, and I was making it. He's like, I made friends, and then we became good friends. And I'm summing this up. All right. His interview's a couple hours long. And there's multiple interviews where he talks about this. And he's talking about it basically to save his life. And he said that he got invited to these parties with these other elite people. And he says that it was a church of Satan. He's like, exactly what you think it is. He's like, they're devil worshippers. He's like, but I thought he said it seemed like they were all just kind of tongue in cheek because it was just orgies. And he's like, at that time in my life, it's like, I'm down for an orgy, whatever. Like, fuck yeah, let's go. He's like, I'm making money, I'm doing coke, and I'm having orgies like that. I'm living the life. He's like, and then the meetings he got invited to seemed to get more and more serious. And then he just starts breaking down at one point. He's like, and before he gets to the breakdown point, they had him dealing with these huge families, moving money and currency for wars. He's like, I got to see how the world really works. And he's like, it's not what anyone thinks. He's like, wars are decided. They're built by people that aren't even in these countries, that have no say-so. They don't even live there. They want it because they don't even want money. They just want to create pain. They just want hurt. That's what they want. And so he was facilitating that. He's like, I'm making money, so I didn't care.
Inc.
Huh?
Makes me think of Monsters Inc.
I think there's truth in Monsters Inc. I think there's truth in a lot of art like that. They constantly want to tell you that because they want to tease you with the truth. Mm-hmm. That's the greatest thing, is when you realize everything you'd ever thought was nonsense, right? That's how you hide a lie, is you bring it out into the open and no one will believe it.
Yeah.
So anyway, he goes to this, and then he says he was invited to a couple other ceremonies, and he didn't want to talk about what was going on. He didn't want to talk what was here. He's like, but for the first time in my life, he's like, I found God. He's like, because if this exists and this is real, there's God. He's like, I needed help because I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to participate in this. And it's kind of alluded to that they were raping and sacrificing children. Mm. And he's like, and it's after that I was out, quit my job, quit everything. I lost everything. He's like, they came for me. They tried to arrest me. He's like, I just fled. He's like, and now I'm doing this interview. It's like, that way, if I die, everyone will know it was true. And he's just kind of been left alone. He's kind of went into obscurity, tried to do different things, but it's always with kids. It's always attached to that, right? Like, it's always like Erika Kirk and the fucking Romanian Angels. What a weird name. Child trafficking to military bases.
God,
That's what it was doing.
This
Who
world
she
is so
is.
crazy.
Her mother's Jewish, which means she's Jewish, by the way.
I
Because her
thought,
cousin's Jewish and come out and was talking about it online. So how can your cousin be Jewish, but you're not Jewish? Well, her mom's Jewish. Well, Hebrew, the mother has to be Jewish for you to be Jewish.
so
she is.
she's just lying then.
Everything's a lie.
Yeah.
How did she get in his life? How did this whore fall for Charlie? I met him when he was in Israel and I saw him there. I'm sure you fucking did. I'm sure you did. And then you were exactly what he wanted to be. I think Candace is right that, and again, we're getting crazy on the conspiracy train here. I think they sort out who certain people are early. They have programs to do it. And then they'll put people in that person's life to either guide them or hinder them. You know, before Charlie went to his X-Man school, was what Candace Owens called it. You know where they wanted to put Charlie? Special education program. They were going to put him in remedial learning, and his parents fought back against it. And then they went, oh, your kid's not slow. He's special. He needs to go for an advanced learning. And then they sent him to this other school instead. It's one of the things Candace had revealed.
Wow.
So it's, I do. Like, people are like, well, it can't be that big. Yeah, it is. It is that big and complicated. The government is listening to your cell phone and reading your emails. They just don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about anybody. They care about certain individuals that they can see as outliers who can move the needle. I think the thing that is constantly playing power is you have diverse sects of evildoers, and because they worship dark power and they get things out of it. It's kind of like the satanic panic of the 80s, and it was kind of laughed off till you fucking look into it and realize it was real. It's kind of like the Comet pizza place, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's like, the guy that went in and shot it up, it had a basement, this and that. He was a fucking patsy. The dude who wrote an article for, Washington Post, New York Times, whatever the fuck it was, talking about how all these QAnon people were believing that, this ring of pedophilia was operating out of there. The guy who wrote that article was a personal friend of the dude who owned that restaurant, James Alefantis, one of the most powerful men in DC. Who knows how? That guy was convicted on molesting babies. The guy who wrote the article defending all these people and how crazy everyone is, he got convicted because they found child pornography of him molesting babies.
So I went down a rabbit hole the other day with all of this, that this whole Pizzagate thing, all the language that they use that represents different nasty
hot dogs,
things for kids,
chicken,
and
walnut sauce,
but all the cheese pizza, all of that, but it all comes back to the pizza that they start out with. I came across a thing that was talking about how that's what it is now. That's what it's been for the last few decades. Back when we were little, it was milk.
Yeah,
Got
put kids
milk.
on the milk.
Got
kids
milk.
on the milk cartons.
And how everything now is, they talk about pizza. Back then it was milk. And every celebrity, every upcoming rising star, were all doing the milk posters, the milk commercials with the milk on there. It was and the more you see it, it's like, holy shit, we were surrounded by that.
Yeah, it's
everywhere.
Yeah.
And it I don't know. Just to be so unaware and to look back, it's creepy.
It's just to, I personally believe it comes back to these fallen and cast down entities that want nothing more than, like, why do they want that blood? And there's power in the blood. There's power in that. Doesn't matter what you believe or every culture in the world, there's power in the blood. There is, because there's things we don't understand. And if we try and this age of scientism has blinded us. The only way this Satanism and things like this has risen the way it has and to be laughed at is because of scientism. We believe we're so smart, we figured out the universe. We know how everything works. No, we fucking don't. We don't understand how magnetism works. We just know that it works. We don't understand gravity, but it works.
Yeah.
The reality is everything around us is empty. It's empty space. The wood behind me, the wall behind you, it's mostly empty space held together by electrons. We don't know how that works. Yeah,
dark holes.
Dark matter. Yeah, we don't know how any of that. We don't know what any of it. We don't know that fucking space is real. We don't know. Shit, we don't even know everything we don't know. It's But in scientism, we believe that we have mastered it. Peer-reviewed studies. You mean of people who agree with you, and if they don't agree with you, you will ban them. The age of scientism has killed science, has killed the pursuit of actual knowledge. It really has. It definitely in schools, definitely in university. I think it's mostly dead. I think there's definitely a push of, you have these elites and academics who were the smartest guys around. The smartest guys around I know anyway, that didn't finish college. They were recruited out of college by various interests to come work for them directly. They wanted them out of school as quickly as possible. Now granted, I'm a sample size of one, so whatever that means. But
hey, what about that? There's a female right now. They're calling her the female Einstein. She's the one. She was 13. She built her own plane and flew it by herself at age 14. She applied for Harvard or somewhere and was turned down.
Yes.
And then did a video of, hey, you turned me down, but I built this plane and I did all this. And they're like, oh, shoot, come back. But from what I understand, she's been offered lots of things and she has turned down money after money after money because her goal is she just wants to figure out how the universe works. And she's not, and I could be wrong, but she's not interested in the money of it. She's interested in the knowledge of it. And I think that's pretty cool. We need more of those.
I think you're not going to hear anything more from her. And if she built something, she's already smarter than Einstein because he never built anything. There's an interesting level where shit goes from practicality, where you can actually, like someone who can build and do things, versus someone who can make some theoretical math that isn't real math and it's all kind of made up bullshit because they're just getting grants. Like, do you ever hear about Math Boy?
No.
It's famous from a couple years ago. He was like 8 or 9. I think he might have been younger than that. I mean, he may be 6 or 7. It's the first video I saw of him. And he was like already in college. And he's like showing these quick calculations of how you can get around his, like, he was tutoring people in like Cal 3. Like, if you're doing this calculation, da da da. It's like, oh, there's my dog Tommy. Look at him run. He likes running. And then we're going to bring this over here for the quant. But if we're doing, like, you're just what? You know what I mean? That kid was followed for a while, and he's just super academic, super brainy. He's a genius. No one can deny that. He's a savant. He's beyond. And he says, he has some out there things that, when we switched on the Large Hadron Collider, we distorted the universe and we shifted into another universe. Every time we do it, we keep shifting.
I actually think I do know. Is a little blonde boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, he's interested. So there's lots of them out there, but
yeah,
I think there comes a point when your intelligence in that there is so far, it loses practicality. Like, where's the application? Or you just look at everyone else like they're fish. I don't know. I don't know. I hope she does great things. But at the same time, like, there are people, like, anytime someone truly does something great, they die. Like the people,
convenient car accident.
Convenient car, or they're poisoned. There was a guy who made a car that could run out of water. This was in like 98, 2000. Tucker Carlson just did an interview with the dude talking about it. And he was sitting down with investors. He ran out of the Cracker Barrel, grabbing his throat, screaming to his brother, "They poisoned me." He fucking died right there. They cremated his, toxicology.
Yeah.
You can't break the system. Everything is a lie too. Like, fossil fuels have nothing to do with fossils. Have nothing to do with dinosaurs. It's a hydrocarbon generated from somewhere underneath the earth. Somehow. We have lots of theories, but we don't know. It's kind of like schizophrenia. They have theories, but they don't fucking know. Honestly, one of the strangest TikToks, which I cannot watch and I'm out, is a guy who has schizophrenia and he films what he's talking to. And occasionally you'll see things fucking move. And you're like, I'm out. I'm out. Dude, I got enough problems.
Right.
I got enough shit on my plate. But yeah, we don't know. They want us to believe all these things, and people will quote that shit without a beat. Well, schizophrenia is from stress, and if you're genetically compliant from it. I was like, or maybe this person's walked off the path and their tuning fork in their head is set a little bit different and they're picking up frequencies you're not. Maybe what they're hearing is real. And maybe they're just fucking with them because nobody will help them. Yeah. I think there's a lot of that. There's a lot. I mean, the medical field, right? The drugs we give people for antidepressant and shit like that. Oh, it's went through vast testing. No, it went through experimentation. And you're continuing experimentation because you don't know what the side effects are. You don't even know how it works. You just know that it's a byproduct of fucking hydrocarbons. It's like, hey, we can make oil and then we have these left over. We can turn that into medicine. Can we? All right, well, let's start buying up the fucking a Rockefeller. Let's buy up the medical colleges, toss out all the textbooks with herbs and extracts and anything that meant for tinctures. Let's bring in these miracle cures. Granted, like if you look at penicillin is
it's a fungus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is one of the greatest cure-alls ever.
Oh,
That's
that I'm highly allergic to, by the way.
Yes.
It'll kill me.
And so here's the fucking craziest part of this is like I find I'm very resistant to viruses, but I get fucked up on bacterial infections. They eat my lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm pretty resistant to both, to be honest.
Yeah. No, mine, I'll get them. Like especially strep. What I mean by bacteria, I definitely mean just specifically strep. Strep kicks my ass.
It always has kicked your ass. Yep.
Yeah, and it's brutal. Yeah. So there's things. I mean, that's off topic, but as back to what I think why they're doing this. I think there's multiple factions. None of them like us. None of them like us. None of them are our side. I think anything that was on our side left a long time ago. And for my faith, one of the things people I think get mixed up is like, well, he's going to deliver us and it's going to be. Christ says to endure. It's the point of being here, is to endure. It's not supposed to be easy. It's going to be hard. It's for you to, I mean, if you look at it like that, like life is, what's the purpose of life? It's a test. Because what comes next is eternity. What best way to appreciate eternity than going through some shit in the beginning? You never appreciate money unless you've been broke first.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, if you've been broke, if you've been hurting, you've been like, all right, that's not getting paid. You know, watching the phone, like seeing people call your phone looking for money that you don't fucking have. When you get money, you're like,
avoiding debt collectors is one of the most stressful things that people don't talk about.
Because you know you owe them. And if you're a good person, you feel bad about it because you're like, I fucking do owe you that money. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I do owe you that money. It's a hell of a thing. You know, and I think that's the purpose of life is it's a struggle and it's a battle and you have evil doing evil. What is our response to it? You know, I know what I would love my response to be, but sadly they keep a lot of armed security and those guys aren't. Like as woke as we see the world being, they're not really woke up. They need hard evidence that directly impacts their life. You know, what I think woke people up when COVID hit and what snapped people into fighting is when they canceled Major League Sports. If they would have kept Major League Sports going, you could have kept everybody locked down. You could have. But they canceled it.
But that goes back to that old, you have to entertain the masses, you know, you've got
circuses. Yeah. Do they have food? Yes. Are they entertained? Yes. Then they're never going to revolt. Yeah. It's here's another thing. Like, why is pornography so prevalent? Why does it have such dark undertones?
Well, that goes back to the lust and how powerful that is.
Well, it's not just that. Like if you believe anywhere near what I believe, like why do they have these sex symbols and idols? Not just because they're good to look at, but for every dude or chick who are diddling themselves away to it, that's energy. That's focus. That's a piece of you that you're giving to this person. You don't even know them. You're giving this piece of you away.
To who? What do you mean?
To whoever's the fixation. Whoever's the idea.
Like to
whoever every young teenage.
Like,
yeah, well, to not just want to, but to the completion of it. The energy. So sex magic is the oldest magic. Sex is magic. It creates life. It creates a spark. Did you know when the semen hits the egg, there's a spark of light in the darkness?
I believe that.
No, I mean, they've proven it. They're like, wow, what is that? They don't know. But when it hits, there's a spark.
It's a tiny miracle.
Yeah, it's magic. This is amazing. So there's power in that. You know, and as every teenage boy from my era focused on like Pamela Anderson, you know, once she stopped getting that focus, she seemed to age pretty fucking quick, you know. whether anyone realized, you know what I mean? Whether it's taken into account, I've always thought there was something to that. They want you to worship and focus these things. They want to harvest it and steal it. That type of magic and intent is real. I think most concerts are rituals.
That's why our Super Bowl halftime show was literally riddled in Hispanic sex innuendos and like
the TPS USA thing wasn't any better. I went over there and it was the most pandering bullshit I've ever seen in my life. Like me and my buddy watching, we're like, what the fuck is this? And like, you know what? Let's watch a movie. We'll watch a movie for 30 minutes and go back to the worst Super Bowl game I've ever watched in my life.
Oh God, the whole thing was horrible.
It was fixed. God. It's obviously fixed.
Golly.
Like they're like the Mays. They're like, well, Mays is, the youngest quarterback since Dan Marino to be there, and he's gonna do blah 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 blah. And I was like, he's not completing passes. He's fucking way off. He's throwing high. Like, well, he's young and scared. He's the youngest quarterback since Dan Marino to beat a Super Bowl. He's not fucking scared. He's throwing the game. And when people online were getting mad about it, the ref stepped in to start fucking with the game. It was always supposed to go this way. MVP's the fucking kicker. Special teams. Yay, let's keep talking about special teams. Weird how you talked about special teams the whole first hour of the fucking pre-thing, and they won the game. I'm sure that wasn't set up at all.
Yeah.
Like, I can get out of here, man. As you know, I don't like sports like that at all.
Yeah.
But I watch just to talk shit the entire time my friends are watching and hope that they fucking see what I see. And it's interesting when they do. They're like my one buddy's like, I think you're right. I think there might be some bullshit going on here. And I was like, one more to my side. Mm-hmm. I'm out there evangelizing conspiracy, one Super Bowl at a time.
Yeah. Football is not a thing. I like basketball, but you can definitely see the change over the years in basketball.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's controlled. It's mm-hmm. controlled. They have to keep you entertained.
Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, that's their job.
Yeah. Entertained and fed. That's why do we pay them so much? Mm-hmm. They're not curing cancer.
They're entertaining the masses.
They're entertaining the masses. And if they're paid a lot, then they're an idol that people want to be. People want to, all right, let's do that. Mm-hmm. Let's elevate this person.
Yep.
Yeah. I think once you see that though, it gets freeing. Because if you take a second to think about it, why do they go through the trouble of doing that? If someone believes like I believe these,
why do they go through the trouble of doing what?
To the deceptions, the distractions, the manipulations, the trying to get you, like, what was it?
Because I don't think the power is the same if it's not free will, right?
Correct. You have to choose. You have to choose.
They can't force us to do the things they want us to do, or else they don't get the same out of it.
Yes. But the reason they target us, like, why not just kill everyone off? Like, that's an affront to God. It's not enough.
Well,
they want us to suffer.
They need our energy.
They want to win. They want to win. Right? Like, that's all this is. They want to win.
What is it they're winning?
Every time we fall, we're one more in their ranks and one more that Lucifer can stand before God and say, see, they were never worthy. I was worthy. They weren't. And I'm going to show you. Like, it's Job. Satan went before God and said, Job only loves you because you protect him and bless him. And God says, is that so? He's like, yep. Take it all, everything but his life. And they did. Took his kids, took his farms, took his wife, cast him with sickness and disease and boils and everyone in his life. So you should curse God. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's what it was. And then everything was rewarded to him tenfold. I think that's what this life mostly is. It's a proving ground. It's a test. It's if you can make it through and be a good person and keep your faith and keep your head above and not give in to truly like depraved immoralities, right? Like, what was it? Abercrombie and Fitch, like 20 years ago, had the like toddler thongs and shit they were trying to sell, like
disgusting
5-year-old girls. Like, that's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
That's just, what are you doing here? Like, what? And they're, we didn't know we'd get pushback. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. But you wanted to put that out there. Mm-hmm. That's what you wanted to do. You want to dress the little boy up like a little girl and get her to dance on stage with trainees. That's what you want. You want grown men and women to go stick dollar bills in the 8-year-old who's up there with the trainee's waistband. That's what you want. It's darkness.
Yeah.
It's just darkness. and you just got to find your way through. I mean, we all do. And for me, that's just come, I isolate more and more. Less things hold. I'm sure it's just a part of getting older, but it's less things hold value to me. You know, like I don't go, what about this TV show? I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I think you're brainwashed if you're watching that TV show, man.
I don't even like people as much.
I judge people a lot harsher on what they say.
Yeah, I really I don't like people as much anymore. I mean, I can make excuses for people, and I can feel sorry for them, and I can assume that they are the way they are because something bad happened to them and this and that or whatever, but it doesn't mean I want to talk to them anymore. Doesn't mean I want to put up with it or deal with it, or I'm not here to fix them. I want to stay in my lane.
Like I have these moments, and I'm sure I know I've told you about them, but I have moments where I'm just like telling my wife, is like, we could sell everything. Hear me out. Try and work remotely. There's this farm I found in the middle of central Nevada, which statistically is the furthest away from anybody. It's by a river, 605 acres. Like we'll just be us. Yeah, we got to go a 3-hour trip to get groceries, but I'm telling you, it might be worth it. I just don't want to see anyone else anymore. I'm just tired, just so tired. But I also get that's part of the endure. Like, you know, it's easy to cast off and run away. That's an option. But maybe if I can do a little good somehow in little ways, that's something. That's something.
Well, you're doing good with your kids. You know, that right there. I mean, you know, you're raising these amazing little people, and they're not sheep.
No, they're not sheep. How much better could it be if I had them out? So I told one of my friends, I was like, you know, I found this compound. He's like, 1, you have a home church. 2, you shouldn't be using the word compound. It's because the government does not like large families with strong religious beliefs that move out into the middle of nowhere.
That is true. Gets called something else real quick.
He's like, that doesn't end well. I was like, and see, that's why. Why doesn't it end well? Because they don't want you doing it. They don't want family compounds. Like, granted, there's some culty aspects of things. I get that. But there's also about something setting up a compound with people that you choose and living your life away from the rest of the world. The problem is choosing the people. They
don't want you to show the rest of the world that you can do it. They don't want you to show that you can survive without them. The government needs us to need them.
It's the power of worship. People worship the government. The government will save us. We can't be friends. Like we can't be friends. You know, you don't come back to my barbecues. All right.
Well, there's also a lot of us tolerating the government too, you know, doing what we have to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm
not trying to rock a boat for no reason. I'm not trying to pick and choose, you know?
Can't. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm a perfect example of that. I'm the perfect example of that. You just have to do what you have to do. Why? I don't agree with it. Morally, I don't like the standing, but if I don't, they're just going to keep sending armed men to kill me. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? You have to find that line that you can dance. So I keep saying, it's like, 605 acres in the middle of nowhere. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I feel like that's how you pop up on the government's radar, though. They started inviting families out there with them. Can't have that. People will figure out that they can do it.
That's when you get labeled as a cult and you're all crazy. And
I am a little crazy, maybe a lot. I don't know.
But by association, everybody out there would be called crazy too.
I mean, if they're out there with me,
True.
They're already crazy. Yeah,
that's true.
The problem is, I think the craziest shit I ever hear what people say is like, I'm not crazy. You're really crazy. You're dangerous crazy. People who think they're sane are the dangerous ones. People who think they're right are dangerous. There's nothing worse than there's nothing worse than a righteous person. They'll do horrible things.
Very frustrating.
Yeah.
I can't stand a know-it-all. It drives me fucking crazy.
Good thing you have me as a brother.
Maybe that's why I get so triggered. God.
I think I trigger some of my friends sometimes too. Like something will happen and I'll just kind of look over and smile. I was like, I fucking told you. Shut up. I was like, hey man, I don't appreciate being right any more than you appreciate me being right.
I didn't want to be right.
No, I wanted to be wrong about this.
Yeah.
You know, when the Epstein files all come out and you're just kind of sitting there, it's like, people are like, you were right. And I was like, and I wish I fucking wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not happy. It's there's a really good meme going on of like the people just now that are waking up to what the world really is. It's that scene from Signs where you have Joaquin Phoenix and they see the alien and he's and he runs and like jumps back and he's freaking out.
Yeah.
And then you see someone who's been awake for a lot longer. Have you seen True Detective?
Yeah.
The HBO show True Detective, and you got the Russ Cole fucking Matthew McConaughey's guy where he's, you know, just sitting there smoking the cigarette, looking at the sky like
Yeah.
It's like, don't worry, man, you'll get there.
Yeah.
Another favorite meme I have is a guy in a gas mask and he's got a rifle and he's like, I know things are scary right now. And then it goes to the next one. He's like, but it's going to get a lot worse. You're just like, oh, shit.
You know what I'm going to rewatch? I actually just saw, a TikTok on it this morning, but somebody put a whole bunch of Easter eggs on that movie, Eyes Wide Shut, which I know that's been going on for years and years. And I thought I had heard and seen everything that they could come out with about that movie. And today, this morning, he threw out, I think, 3 different things that I had never noticed or seen in the movie. Now I'm like, oh, I want to go back and watch that whole thing now.
We'll never see it completed because of the 26 minutes or 27 minutes they removed of it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I keep thinking about that.
The crazy thing is so like the scene where Tom Cruise is at the hotel and he's like yelling at the guy behind the desk. The guy behind the desk is a gay porn star. And that scene's very reminiscent of like a straight, like some scene that the gay porn star did where the straight guy was like coming on to like got caught and it's weird that he made Tom Cruise do it with this guy, made him do it again and again and again and again and again. Kind of thrown out there that maybe Tom Cruise is not what Tom Cruise pretends to be, which is fine. I don't give a fuck if he's gay. It's better than the thing that he fucks fish. I don't care. The thing I think is interesting about Tom Cruise, despite all the Scientology shit, which I think is insane, is how right he was when he was talking about psychiatry with Matt Lauer.
Oh, about
like
medication,
the history of it and where it came from and the
Mhm.
drugs they use on people.
Mhm.
And he's like, you don't know the history. I do. And people are like, man, I thought that too. I was like, Tom, you're an asshole. And then I read a couple books and I was like, oh, Tom's not an asshole. I'm an asshole. He was right.
Yeah.
Shit.
I don't know though. Anybody whose own child writes you off and wants nothing to do with you, there's something there.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some I think the more interesting person to look into that the reason they picked those people for that movie is Nicole Kidman and her family.
Oh yeah, because her dad was somebody, wasn't he? Her dad was somebody not good. I forgot.
He was
I remember
way into the intelligence agencies and he's way into human trafficking and children and pedophilia claims. And there's a lot of that shit that surrounds her too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just so crazy. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everyone.
It's like it can't be real. You know, like no. Yep. It just makes me keep my kids in the yard. Excuse me, keep my kids in the yard. And suspect everyone at all times.
It really makes you wonder about all the one-hit wonders too, you know? Whether it be with music or with acting or all of the stars and everybody that comes around that then all of a sudden you never hear or see from them again. And maybe it's because that's a choice. They didn't take a bite out of the apple, you know?
A lot of the insider type people, whether you're Jaguar Wright or whoever the comedians are who talk about it, they all say the same things. Like you come to a point. It's like, yeah, you can make $20 million. So you want to make more than that? You got to be in the system. You got to sign over. It's like a lot of people don't think it's real. Some people do. Some people. The Woa Vicky chick. Do you remember her? Woa Vicky.
Whoa, Vicky. Why does that sound familiar?
She was this white girl from Atlanta. Speaks like she's a black girl from Atlanta.
Oh, catch me outside.
No, that's a different chick.
Oh,
but in that same vein,
Yeah.
Anyway, Whoa, Vicky was like famous for 5 seconds or whatever.
Okay.
And she was getting invited to these parties in Hollywood because they were like, hey, we want you to do this and that. And she's like, money was coming my way and deals. And she's like, they wanted me to go to like a Bella Thorne party. I don't know who Bella Thorne is.
I do.
And she's like, to get into the party, you had to sign in blood. You had to sign an agreement in blood. And they're like pressuring her at the door to do it. And she's like, I'm not fucking doing that. And the people who brought her there in a car are like, well, then you can walk your ass home because we're not going, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're just being a bitch. Like, you need to grow up. It's just a security clause. It's a security clause. She's like, I'm non-disclosure. I'm not going to talk about the party. Why do I have to sign anything in blood? And she says, I told him, no, fuck off. I called an Uber. I went home.
Good for her.
Yeah, and her career crashed. Yeah. The Catch Me Outside girl made a shitload of money with OnlyFans.
Oh, God.
When she turned 18.
Well, I guess because you don't have to speak correctly to show your tits.
That's all an act. She doesn't sound like that at all.
Gosh.
It's all an act. It's all an act. And like that, the craziest thing was her dad, who was there arguing, the cop, he's like, I don't want her to end up in porn. I think she's going to end up in porn. This is what her and her mom want. I said, I don't want this. The whole thing was a fucking ploy. She made like fucking $10 million in the first hour of signups.
That's crazy.
Here's a crazy thing. All porn companies are owned out of one nation.
Israel? Are they really?
Yeah.
All right. I think it's time to quit for today.
Nah, that's all right. This just got us deleted off everything.
Watch it while you can, Mom.
Fuck him, dude. I don't care. I'm not a fucking Zionist pig dog, whatever. Like, I'm not. Fuck it. I'm out. I don't care. The problem is too many people care and too many people are afraid to say something. They can suck my balls. I don't care. Yeah. They can suck your balls. I don't know. Whatever.
I got big rock cajona balls.
All right. You got any good last words for all the Zionists who are going to be putting out hits on us?
I'm not falling for this.